train is our only transportation out of here.
Well, it doesn't really look like the train's in too good a shape, but I guess we'll have to trust her.
Hunting party. Let's hurry.
But that is our means of getting pretty much to the docks and hopefully to that E-99 bomb.
Renko, I can't reach. I need your help.
And this is actually going to be one of the few times in the present day when we're going to have access to the Seeker. But obviously, since they gave this to us, it means we're going to have to be using it soon.
Hold them off for my work.
But along with the normal Spetsnaz, I think there are a few elite Spetsnaz along the top that actually are carrying rocket launchers. These are going to be the first time we see those, and they are quite deadly. So I decided to revert one of these Spetsnaz over the side while I take care of this guy. And this was actually one of the few times when the revert was actually pretty helpful. But what we want to do is stand on this very large device, and this is a TMD amplifier. A rather odd little mechanism where you basically have to keep the crosshair on that big glowing ball of light, but it will harness our TMD powers to put back together the train. And that horribly large creature that we were getting some impressions before apparently has decided to make itself known. There's plenty of items and ammunition here in case we need it, but thankfully we're not in too much of a need. But say hello to our next boss, and what is pretty much the next evolution for Phase Tick. As can probably be assumed, what you want to do is aim for the massive glowing weak spots. Pretty standard boss fare. What makes this interesting though is just the overall look and setting that the boss takes place in. But after you take care of the initial spots, some more spots pop out. The main thing we want to get rid of are the spots around the head primarily. But sometimes it'll duck off to the edges of the train, kind of pop up on either side and take some swipes at you. Actually, quite a few of its attacks are rather hard to judge where they're actually going to hit, so dodging it can be very iffy. Especially for when you see it open its mouth like that, it'll actually charge in and grab you and take out about 3/4 of your health. But Phase 1 is actually done. So we do need to start hurrying here, and rather annoyingly, they start to spawn in some normal phase ticks. We just kind of want to run by those, so popping down a quick deadlock will allow us to just hop on by without having to worry about any more of them spawning. But seems we're not done with our large friend yet. Thankfully there's not any more glowing weak spots there, and we have to make sure and get rid of these pipes so we can continue on, otherwise it might drag us down with the rest of the train. But our final goal is going to be this TMD amplifier, which should hopefully give us the power to take down this rather large, unwieldy boss. Kills bugs dead.
Good job, Renko. Dr. Beresov, do you copy? Dr. Beresov, please come in. I'm not sure the signal's even getting through. We're almost to the docks. According to Dr. Beresov, the E-99 bomb is on a freighter called the Pearl. Lucky thing the train held together. This would have been a long walk. Glad we met, Renko. It has been the most frightening experience of my life. You go ahead and find that freighter. I'll stay here and keep trying to contact Dr. Beresov. And move fast. Demichev can't be far behind us.
But welcome to the next brand new area, the docks. We have to make our way to the aforementioned Pearl. And that's going to be not necessarily a very long trek, but a very interesting one nonetheless. I do find it a bit interesting that Catherine mentions this has been the scariest part of her life. I would assume that living under a horrible despot like Demichev would be pretty scary all on its own. But this is just a shipping log for all the ships coming through. The one point of interest is mentioning that the Pearl does have some rather large E-99 ordnance on it, which is, no, you can guess, the E-99 bomb we're looking for. First thing we are going to want in this rather large room is a handy dandy box. We're actually going to be needing this to get a few little hidden collections of items around. It's going to be a bit difficult to figure out where to place it, especially right here, because there is a little platform right above that will kind of block your head, but managed to make it on the first go. And up here, got a little bit more E-99 tech, and another weapons tech, which actually managed to trigger Scientist yet again, giving us 2. Also we have the continued desiccated and rather grisly remains of people that probably sought shelter here. And some rather annoying physics problems. And the box doesn't want to seem to stay with us quite where we want. But this particular jump seemed to give me some problems during the recording. Just something about the timing was just off. You really have to pretty much jump when you've already gone off the edge, and well, I don't end up getting it. I think this is going to be my last attempt. And it was a complete failure, so let's go ahead and use this box for its intended purpose. Now you may remember those phase ticks we saw before, but where did they go? That can be quite a nasty, nasty trap. But it's also the prime place to get a particular achievement, which I think is to kill, I think at least 10 phase ticks in one impulse, which can actually be pretty difficult. But yet again, getting some very mixed messages. Not really sure right now how Borisov might be right or wrong, but he's kind of our only option right now that's not actively trying to kill us. We don't actually need to keep this box with us, but it would help quite a bit more with these tripwires. More so at least than highly explosive barrels. Thankfully, either way, if you're a little bit careful, it's not too hard. Also, obviously, aging the barrels will make them a lot less dangerous, but nice little hidden formula over here. Now, you may remember that we actually already got that one, but I ended up having to go back and do a recording over again, so it ended up just being kind of a repeat.
Chopper incoming. Watch yourself.
She is going to die. But since I had some weapon techs laying around and the autocannon is actually being a pretty sweet weapon, I figured I'd upgrade it just a little bit. Obviously clip size would be very nice and a nice damage increase. Well, make this a pretty... it will make it an even more formidable weapon, honestly. We get our first real looks at the docks, and you could kind of see the top of the pearl down in there in the water. But as to how we're actually going to get inside it, I'm not really certain.
Запомните, на корабля введен строжайший карантин. Знакомое лицо.
But, you know, that's 2 seeker portions in one video. I think that's pretty good. But, even if you miss one, there's another guy nice enough waiting right around the corner. So, seeming to get through the railing is a bit more annoying than it seems. But there are quite a few guys waiting in this entire area. You can actually stay all the way back here and take out a good deal of them, but that gets kind of boring, so I think it's good to be at least a little offensive and try to make our way forward. It may also be a bit hard to make out, but there are a few boxes and collections of barrels hanging from the cranes up above. They actually can be dropped onto the enemy. I did miss an opportunity to drop the barrels, but I don't know if I missed the opportunity to drop that huge box. Smush. But I'm actually not sure where that revert went off to. I was kind of hoping I was going to be able to show off exploding it next to some guys, but it just seemed to disappear. But we do want to make sure and collect everything we can, including this little locked hatch up here, because there's another weapon tech waiting for us. Also, I can still hear somebody. He's not really trying to get us. Oh, there he is. I see you. But there's the pearl, so maybe we can go ahead and get on it here.
Renko, I hope you're alright. I lost your signal for a few seconds. I managed to contact Dr. Beresov.
Captain Renko must have experienced another time anomaly, most likely due to the E-99 bomb. Submersion in the harbor may have made the bomb unstable.
So the freighter's at the bottom of the harbor. What's the plan now?
Simple. Renko can use the TMD. Captain, there is a damaged amplification platform on the dock. Repair the power cells below it, and you'll be able to raise the pearl.
You know, it seemed like it might have just been a lot easier to stay in the past, but I guess we didn't have any control over that. But another convenient little equipment upgrade, Tech Savvy, will allow us to, I think, get back some TMD energy every time I think we pick up some ammunition. But there's going to be quite a bit of swimming in the future, and thankfully this little bit is actually not too hard to navigate around, just a few little tripwires, and phasing in what appears to be a very large vacuum tube. And we just had to age it to get it back to a fixed state. Pretty simple puzzle to figure out, but I think for the fact that the puzzle is so simple, it's actually got a fairly nice payoff.
You did it, Captain! You raised the freighter! We can see it from here. Catherine and I are headed to the docks, but don't wait for us. You'll find the bomb in the cargo holds below deck.
Move quick, Renko. Raising the freighter must have gotten Demichev's attention. I can hear helicopters heading our way.
But join me next time as we venture onto the Pearl.